So I am in Thurso. I have arrived at the end of the world. And today I'm basically going to be doing the very top, like northeast side of Scotland. So I'm going to be driving up to John O'Groats, going round, seeing a couple of the coastline, all that sort of stuff. So looking forward to that. My couch surfer, a Polish guy called Tomek. We had a curry last night, so that was nice. Stayed up chatting. Very interesting guy who works at the nuclear facility in the area. So we had an interesting conversation about nuclear power. So that was cool. And I'm staying with him again tonight. So yeah, just gonna go out, make the most of my day, and explore unexplored parts of Scotland. Well, for me at least. And this right here, this bad boy, is the monster truck that I rented unplanned from the car rental. Well, I say monster truck. I drive a Toyota Yaris, so for me, it is. So I've made it to the end of the world. Well, the end of the UK. I'm in John O'Groats, and I'm just about to get out and have a little mooch at the northernmost point in the United Kingdom. Well, the northernmost point of the mainland in the United Kingdom. It's a little bit overcast, a little bit windy, but it's Scotland in January. I mean, what else can you expect, really? Well, you can definitely tell where it gets shallower out there. All the waves. Not gonna lie, it's a little bit nippy. And it's quite windy, but I'm at the end of the road. The end of the road in the UK, ladies and gentlemen. That is where I'm going. Look at that for a view. Windy, windy roads where the Teletubbies come out to play. Weird that my first thought is the Teletubbies, isn't it? Don't know what that says about me. That is quite the view. And you can actually see Orkney over there. Even on a dull day. It's only 8 miles offshore. So I've just googled it. That ain't Orkney. That's a teeny tiny island called Muckleskerry. But even so, there's islands out there and I can see them. Duncansby Head Lighthouse is the most northeastern point of the UK. Mainland UK, I should say. Which is slightly further east and a little bit further north, I think, than John O'Groats. But obviously John O'Groats is the most northern town officially. But, you know, I'm not in a town right now. I'm in the sort of 3 miles out of town. But yeah, I'm going to get out, have a wander, look at the lighthouse and officially say that I've been to the most northeastern point of the UK. Mainland UK. The wind's proper dropped out here. And there's nobody else about. Looks like I picked the perfect time of year to come. Ooh, shipping up. That's the famous Duncansby Lighthouse. So we've got the north coastline over there. That's where John O'Groats is. Then we've got a couple of islands knocking about. Then the lighthouse on the pinpoint. And if you continue going all the way around here, that's the east coastline. The east coastline of the Great British Isles. Oh, somebody's died over there. The heavens have come down to collect their soul. I don't even know how far down I want to go here. But there looks like there's an aptly placed fence. So I'm going to investigate further. So yeah, cliff presumably down there. God, I keep getting intrusive thoughts about accidentally dropping my GoPro. I might have to put it away. Sitting down, having a chill. The most northeastern point of the UK, mainland UK. Yeah, it is quite, in total, like this part of the country is quite more populated than I expected it to be perfectly honest. I don't know what I expected, but there's a lot of people, and I don't know, it feels almost, because you are still quite isolated, because it's a good 4-5 hour drive from here down to Edinburgh, or you know, any sort of major city. So if you want to go anywhere else in the UK, it's not as easy like as getting in the car and just going. You know, you got to plan because it's a long way. Whereas in the UK, where I live, sorry, in St Helens, slap bam in the middle of the country. Everywhere's pretty much the same distance. Everywhere of any note is about a 4 hour drive away. So yeah, nice to visit, but I'm not sure I'd want to live there. So I am at Castle Sinclair, or the ruins of, sort of drawbridge over there. So I am going to go investigate a little bit further. But I have also noticed the big sign that says danger, keep out, which is, you know, reasonable, I think. There is only one thing we say to death. Not today. Oh. Okay, so apparently I'm not going to investigate any further. I was going to do a little time warp thing all the way through, but apparently that ain't gonna happen because, you know, death and whatnot. Although that's pretty. So I'm underneath the forbidden entrance into the castle, and very dramatic sceneries of, you know, half fallen in cliff edges. And there it is from this really crappy angle. Just arrived in Wick. Nice little area. Gonna go down to the harbour. So I found a nice little graveyard to have a wander about in, as I quite often do in Wick. Okay, Wick itself, I mean, the high street is dead. It's like St Helens. All the shops are boarded up. I mean, I suppose it's a different town, same problems, right? A couple of people hanging about, sat down outside steps of boarded up shops. I think it's a problem that a lot of the UK is suffering with at the moment. And it's just a shame that it's made it all the way up here. But then again, I suppose there can't be that many jobs going, and it is quite isolated up here, so can't imagine they get that many tourists in the terms of the grand scheme of things. Just had a lovely little ham and cheese toastie in a little cafe. Now I'm walking along back from the harbour up to the car to plan the next part of my adventure. But yeah, like I said earlier, Wick's an interesting place. There's clearly a lot of problems, should we say, based on a lot of kids hanging about when they should be in school. Some woman had to come outside the cafe I was in and yell at some 15-16-year-olds for causing shit and throwing stuff on the street and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, typical forgotten town in the north. Yet another example of them. Just coming up to Walligo Steps, which is apparently a must-see, well, in this neck of the woods, so we'll see what happens round the corner. Also 2:30 in the afternoon and the sun is going down, so I'm on a bit of a time limit. I'm going to do this and then I've got one more stop that I'm hoping to catch in the daylight. And then, yeah, happy days. So down at the bottom of the Walligo steps, and I can keep hearing something that sounds like thunder, which I've got a funny feeling might be the waves hitting against the rocks, because there's a lot of it. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't want to be stuck down there with that paddle, because you'd be fucked. And I've got a little cave over there. Let's go and explore over this way. See what's happening down here. God, it goes up, doesn't it? The great Scottish scenery. Right. It's down here. Shall we? Shall we not? Yeah, fuck it. I'd give a message to the world, one of them, if you find this GoPro and all that, you know, if it's prized out of my cold dead hands because I've drowned somewhere. But realistically, if that was to happen, this GoPro's going to be lost, isn't it? Out to sea, never to be seen again. Very cool. Very cool. Not quite sure what that is, but yeah. Little caves, a white cross on the wall. Who's died? Who's died? All the way up. Any dogs not on leads will be shot. Lost cow and calf chased by fucking dogs. 25th of the 6th, 2024. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that's reasonable. That is reasonable. My last stop of the day in Latherwin Harbour. It's a good job too, because the sun is going down. It is 3:10 and the sun is going down. Welcome to Scotland. So this is Latherwin Harbour. Looking very cool. What's in here? Not a lot. Empty room. You can just about see the sun in the background there. Wind farm over there. Very nice. Okay, so just walking along back. Down the way I came. Good job I didn't break my bloody neck. And I'm going to explore further over onto the other side, I think. Oh, that's where I've just come from. Up there. Beautiful view of that sun though, isn't it? Is it just me? Or is that right there the perfect advert for a Jeep off-roading in the middle of nowhere? Jeep advertisers, if you're listening to this, I charge commission, yeah, for the footage. Cool little bridge, and not a hobo in sight. Excellent. You can tell we're out in the sticks, can't you? That would have been St. Helens. There have been sleeping bags and litter and all sorts under there. All the way out to the great North Sea of the British Isles. This reminds me, the Hobbit huts. I know that it's, you know, a bridge, not an actual house, but even so, let's have a wander and see what we find up here. Well, I never indeed that. It's quite high. I'm not going near that edge. Beautiful. Look at that sun. Beautiful. Just cliffs as far as the eye can see in that direction. And if you go that direction, you can see them jutting out as well. And then nothing out there. Apart from, well, God knows how many wind turbines. So I may or may not have got a bit lost up there. But luckily, I had a time warp that I took of me going up that I could watch back and retrace my steps. And I was like, I came through that metal swingy gate. So, panic over, crisis averted. And now I'm heading back to the car, going to drive back up to Thurso. And then just look around because I actually haven't looked around. I haven't been to Thurso yet, to be fair. I'm staying there. I'm a couch surfer. Whoops, that is the edge. Yep. But I've not actually had a look around the actual place that I'm staying. So I'm going to do that. And it's kind of a place to do in the dark, really, isn't it? So, because the sun sets pretty bloody early here. So yeah, all fun and games. Can't see a damn thing in here. I'm in a graveyard in Thurso. Tried to get some fish and chips, but they only take cash and I don't have any cash on me. Oh well, never mind. Onwards and upwards. Creeping around a graveyard at night, eh? What am I doing with my life? This church is bombed out, I think. Completely empty shell of a church. Interesting. I'm wandering about it at night. Just got back now and cooking some lovely Chinese food, which should be nice. My couch surfer's just finishing up some work and stuff. The kettle's boiled and I'm gonna have a nice cup of tea. It is, gosh, 6:15, something like that. So nice chill, and then tomorrow driving down to Inverness.